Shake Table Lab by Drew Kumans and Gabi Perez. Before we started to build a structure, we drew a sketch that could potentially be the building's design, with the measurements of the lengths that the sides could be. The full length of the structure was 36 centimeters.
Mr. C drilled holes on the bottom of the building so that we could secure the straws onto the bottom story. Drew and I folded the ends of the straws to make them easier to stick in place. Then we put tape over them so then they would actually stay in place. The next part of building was building up from the foundation at the base and creating the second story. Drew measured the sides so that we could have the correct length for the sides in advance. At this point in the building process, we had almost finished all of our stories and we were doing the very top layer. We added more supports to the levels below to make sure that the building would be stable. We decided how many straws we would need for this, and then we started on the structuring of the roof. When we finished the layout of our roof in straws, we covered the roof in construction paper, making sure that the tape wouldn't show.
Our finalized tower has arrows pointing to spots on our building labeling the lengths of the sides. Because of building codes, our building became taller than it was originally going to be. So, the length of the structure is now 47 centimeters.
For the static testing, we wanted to make sure that each section of our tower was strong, so we put sandbags on each story of the tower. Luckily, our tower was strong and it could support the weight of the sandbags. We put extra tape and straws in the weakest areas. By strengthening our tower, we made sure that our building was sturdy and it wouldn't fall apart. The strongest parts of the tower are the straws on the bottom of the tower because they are places where Drew and I added more tape. Also, on the bottom of the tower, the straws are doubled. The weakest parts are the straws going across each other in the shape of X's. Those are the weakest parts because singular straws are flimsy and easily bent. They also don't have a lot of tape wrapped around them to help them become more sturdy. Though they do add support to the building, they're pretty flimsy on their own. Tape played a very important role in building the tower. My partner and I used tape to make the building have multiple stories. Without tape, multiple stories wouldn't stand up. We also used the straws for extra support. Drew and I used the tape for putting on the construction paper as well. Putting on tape was necessary to make sure that the building didn't completely fall apart. For the tower, our extra supplies that we got to use was construction paper. We also got to use extra straws for making the roof. This was very helpful, because if our amount of straws for the roof was limited, most of us would probably not be able to finish their roof. The construction paper was mainly to make the roof look better, but it also served as great floors to balance the bags of rice on.
The first time that we shook the tower, it did pretty well.
A minor earthquake?
When we put 14 sandbags on our tower and shook it, the tower fell over. We put it in slow motion so it would be easier to see where the tower fell first.
The XYZ graph measures the movement that happens while the tower is being shaken. The green symbolizes how much the tower shook side to side. The brown symbolizes the tower's movement back and forth, and the blue is up and down.
Our building supported 14 sandbags. Our building first failed because of the crossbeams. They failed because they weren't connected to the corners very well. If I would change anything right now, straw supporting the crossbeams so they wouldn't fail. I learned that if you have to build an earthquake-proof building, you need to have straw supporting your strong parts, or else your strong parts won't do very well. My favorite part of the slab was building the roof. I love building the roof because I love the different designs. I also love decorating the roof with cartoon pandas and realistic pandas.
Our building supported 14 sandbags. The cross pieces failed first. They failed because they had the least amount of tape supporting them in singular straws. I think that we could have added more tape to the cross pieces and the base. That would make the tower stronger. I learned that you have to make sure that the base is secure or the whole building will fall down. I like that we got to design our roofs and were not given specific guidelines for building them. I also liked how we got to use construction paper to enhance our tower.